everyone, and welcome back to our channel, or welcome to our channel if you're new. For today's video, I'll be showing you how to make this delicious pineapple tart. Now this is made with a nice flaky crust on the outside and a caramelized delicious pineapple jam on the inside. So this is really great if you want to be a little bit different this holiday season and serve a little bit of a different pastry this holiday season. So before we get into the video, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to our channel for more videos every single week. So without further ado, let's get on into the video. Alright, so now we're going to move on to, of course, the ingredients you need for this recipe. So you'll need half a pineapple diced, 1 beaten egg, 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of vanilla essence, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1.5 cups of flour, of course, 1 stick of butter, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now first, before we move on to, of course, the mixture for the jam, you'll want to, of course, make your dough ahead of time. So you're, of course, going to need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and your butter. Now, you may recognize this part of the video because basically making the dough is exactly the same for the currants roll and for the cheese roll. So it's the exact same method to make our dough, but we just use different ingredients after making the dough. So basically here we're going to take this butter and we're going to mix it in really nicely with the flour. And you're just going to make sure that there are no big lumps left in the flour before you start moving on to forming your dough. Once you're happy with the flour, you're going to start adding in some cold water. And when you're adding this in, you're not going to knead your flour aggressively, as I've mentioned in previous videos. But what you're going to do is you're going to just fold this into the dough. So you're going to just fold the water into the dough very gently, and this is just going to make sure that the dough comes out nice and flaky at the end, because this really does affect how the dough comes out and how it rises in the fridge. So after this is what your dough should look like. It should be a nice, puffy, cohesive dough that is ready to put into the fridge. So basically your whole bowl should be clean of flour. That's how you know your dough is complete. So now you're going to take your dough and you're going to cover it in saran wrap. And what this will do is that it's going to protect the dough in the fridge, and it'll also help the dough have a nice concealed place to rise properly. So you want to make sure when you are putting on your saran wrap, you want it to be very nice and tight, and that there are no air pockets for the dough to fall or for it to sit not right, because it can really mess up the dough in the fridge if there's too many areas opened up. So you're going to put this in the fridge for about 30 to 45 minutes. So of course you want to do this ahead of time before you actually start baking, because you want to make sure your dough is ready before you start putting things together. While that's sitting, you're going to go ahead and add your brown sugar to your pineapple. You'll also add in your vanilla essence. You'll also be adding in your nutmeg and, of course, your cinnamon. And what you're going to do with this now is that you're going to take all of this and just add it straight into a heated pan and start waiting for this to caramelize on its own. And this will just make its own jam. So you want to make sure everything is in there, and then you're just going to keep an eye on it. Don't put a lid over it or anything, and you're just going to keep an eye to make sure that everything starts to caramelize, especially with that brown sugar added to it. So you're going to let this cook on its own for about 10 to 15 minutes before coming back to it. Now, halfway through, this is what it should look like. You should start to see some water come out of the pineapple, and you'll also start to see that it's starting to caramelize. Afterwards, if your pineapple starts to dry up in terms of not having enough water, just add some water to this and let this boil down on its own until it's a jam. Right, so it's been around 30 to 45 minutes, so we're taking out our dough, and this is what your dough should look like. Sorry about the blurriness, but basically this is what your dough should look like, and it should be nice and fluffy. So as you can see here, we're just adding some flour and just rolling this out just like we did with the other doughs, but the only difference is we're taking a glass cup and we're just making some circular shapes inside of the dough. Now, of course, if you have an actual circular shaped cookie cutter type of thing, you can use that, but this works well for us. Also, this is the thickness that you're kind of going for in terms of the dough. We wanted to show it a little closer up. You want it to be a little bit more thick so that you can hold more of the jam inside. So then you're going to take one of those pieces and you're going to roll it out, just flatten it out ever so slightly, just so that it's flattened out enough to add your jam. Speaking of which, after your jam has cooled down, you're going to add this straight onto your dough. You're going to add, just eyeball it, like add a certain amount inside of the dough, and then you're going to start putting it together. Now you're going to take two sides and bring it together like a triangle, and then you're going to bring in the third side to close everything up. You're then of course using a fork to make sure everything is closed correctly. Now you're taking your beaten egg once you finished all of your pieces, and you're just going to lightly wash that over each piece. This is just going to, of course, give it color, and it's also going to make sure all of the pieces are sealed in place. So you're going to bake this for 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 45 minutes. And once you take your pineapple tarts out of the oven and let them cool, this is what it should look like. So this is a really delicious recipe, especially for the holiday season and all year round. But for the holiday season, it's something a little bit different, and it'll get a lot of your guests talking, especially because it's something so opposite of what the holiday stands for, because it's like pineapple and things like that, really tropical. So it's just something really unique for the holiday season. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment down below what you thought of this video and other videos on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos every single week, and turn on post notifications to be notified whenever we upload. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Happy holidays. Thanks for watching.